Hello, welcome back to another video presented by Acuity PPM, where today we're going to provide an overview of project portfolio management. We're going to cover the fundamental capabilities of PPM and present that in an overview. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to our channel because we're putting out great content that you do not want to miss. And with that, let's jump in. And we're going to start with the difference between projects, programs, and portfolios. A project is a temporary endeavor to create a unique product, service, or result. We know there's a defined scope, there's limited resources, there's a schedule. We're very familiar with projects and therefore project management, which is the discipline of managing projects. Then we have programs. Programs and program management are becoming more popular today. And programs are a collection of projects that, when managed together, there's synergy in that collective management of those projects. They're likely corresponding to a strategic objective or a larger body of work that's better managed collectively. Then we have portfolios. Portfolios are a collection of all projects and programs. And we'll get into the definition of portfolio management specifically. So what is project portfolio management, or PPM for short? Firstly, it combines a business management discipline. There's the need for understanding strategy. There's the need for understanding financial rigor. Then we have general management, and this is very much related to resource management, people management, and general management of work. And then we have project and program management. So project portfolio management is a blend or a combination of these various management disciplines. And we've got three definitions that we're going to share. Each of them has their own corresponding paradigm shift. Even in today, and it's 2024, many organizations still struggle with project portfolio management. There's key paradigm shifts or changes that an organization needs to make in order to successfully execute PPM. This first definition highlights that portfolio management is a senior leadership discipline that drives strategic execution and maximizes business value delivery. So portfolio management, at its core, it's about executing strategy. It translates our strategic plan into action. And while we're doing that, its focus is to maximize the value that we are delivering to the business or to our customers and stakeholders. We do that through selection, optimization, and the oversight of those project investments that align to our goals and strategies. The first paradigm shift that the leadership team needs to make is recognizing that projects are in fact an important vehicle, perhaps the most critical vehicle for executing strategy. Second definition is from Stanford. They used to have an advanced project management series. Their definition is that portfolio management is the strategy-based, prioritized set of all projects and programs in an organization reconciled to the resources available. So this takes a more pragmatic approach, a resource-oriented approach. We've got to prioritize our work, and we've got to reconcile how much work we have with how much resources we have or people we have. Really a supply and demand. How much demand do we have in the organization? How much supply of resources do we have to get the work done? And the paradigm shift in this case is shifting from a singular project view to a total or holistic portfolio view. This is very challenging in many organizations. It's easy for leadership to look at each project in a silo or in isolation from the rest of the portfolio. We've got to make the shift to looking at our portfolio holistically. Then we will understand how much demand and what our availability is to meet the demand. Otherwise, we will approve too much work, and we'll cover that in more detail in our video on portfolio lifecycle phase number 1. Our third definition of project portfolio management emphasizes financial management. And in fact, project portfolio management comes from the principles of financial portfolio management. And we can take into account investment strategies, alignments to goals, risk, return on investment, growth and profitability, balance, diversification. Those can still be applied in many ways, particularly the financial aspects, to project portfolio management. Third paradigm shift that we need to make is that projects are investments. If we realize that our projects are investments, we will consider them and treat them differently. In fact, there should be some consideration when evaluating the portfolio as a whole to understand which combination of investments will deliver the most value back to our company, back to our customers, back to our stakeholders. It's good to have some objectivity when making this, because otherwise everybody can get emotionally invested in the projects. If we can step back and recognize that our projects are investments, and as good stewards of the company, can leadership identify and select the right combination of those projects that will maximize value. So we'll make a turn, and we're going to cover various elements of project portfolio management. These pictures are here to highlight that there are different ways of executing strategy. And on the far left-hand side, we've got a compass. And in quotes, we're talking about informed intuition. Leadership understands the general direction that the organization should take. And we can liken this to a compass. There's nothing wrong with the informed intuition. It definitely still has a place. We need to know where we're headed. But it's not as specific as a map. And so a strategic plan could be likened to the map. It provides more specific strategic direction. It helps us increase our ability to execute strategy. But even a strategic plan, which still many organizations struggle with or don't even do or don't do well, a strategic plan in and of itself is not the best way to execute strategy. To take that a step further, we really want a GPS system, so to speak, to navigate what's the optimal route to accomplish our goals and objectives. And that's really the optimized portfolio plan. We're not going to talk about portfolio planning in detail in this video. You can check out our portfolio planning video on our YouTube channel. But if we can incorporate prioritization, incorporate resource management, incorporate dependencies, we can sequence our projects in such a way that we can optimize the delivery and execution and arrive at our future state, a better future state, sooner than if we only have a general strategic plan. So while the informed intuition is good, a strategic plan is better, the optimized portfolio plan helps us get to that better end state sooner and better. And here we've got some great business related questions. These come up regularly from leaders that are trying to manage the portfolio. Some questions are very fundamental, such as what are we working on? And that's one of the problems that portfolio management can help answer. We need a single source of truth to understand what the organization is working on. I've been in plenty of organizations and talked to leaders that just did not have a handle or visibility of all the work that's going on. And you cannot manage what you cannot see. So portfolio management provides visibility to answer the question, what are we working on? It can help answer the question, do we have the right projects? Where are we investing money in people? How are we performing? Can we absorb all the change that's going on in our organization. Are we delivering value? Have we optimized our portfolio? Are we getting the benefits? Ultimately, can we realistically deliver the portfolio? Portfolio management as a discipline can help answer these questions. And so some of the benefits of project portfolio management include we're going to get a higher return on our investment because we're going to be selecting better projects and considering the risk profile of those projects. It's going to lower the overall organizational risk. We're going to have the right mix and we're going to factor in the riskiness. It helps us operationalize that strategic plan. It makes it more tactical, more executable. Then we have a realistic project workload. All of these will result in increased project throughput with shorter cycle times, ultimately greater confidence of meeting customer commitments. So these are some of the key benefits of project portfolio management. And it's important to highlight that PPM is both an art and a science. Some organizations gravitate toward the science side, making it very data specific, very detailed process. When in reality, there's the balance with the art, which really is the people side of things, the governance, the leadership. And we want to combine these in such a way that we've got the right strategic decision making. So we don't want to err too far on one side or the other. We don't want to leave it all up to the people without any of the science. If it's too science driven, we're going to lose the leadership governance capabilities. So it's really a combination of the two. And this is a little humor, but it does help highlight when your organization needs portfolio management. So if work feels like it's a train wreck and there's a traffic jam and nobody can get work done, then your organization would very likely benefit from portfolio management. If your project managers are frustrated and irritated, then could be a good sign you need portfolio management. And then if your employees are reacting to your strategic goals in a confused way, that's another indication. And in fact, a lot of companies, their stated strategic goals do not match the actual project work. Your portfolio or your strategy is really made up of your portfolio. So if you want to know what your strategy is, look at the portfolio. If you say one thing and do another, your employees will be confused. And here we come to the matter of governance. Very important topic and summarized on one page. The key takeaway is that portfolio management does not have to be bureaucratic. That's one of the number one points of pushback against portfolio management that leadership has. They don't like it to be too bureaucratic. On the flip side of that, if you have too little process, things become chaotic. And so at the end of the day, it's really a matter of putting in the right level of process to manage the scope of your portfolio. Some portfolios are smaller, the budget's smaller, and it doesn't need as much scrutiny. Others are much larger, could be in the tens or hundreds of millions of dollars or more. It involves maybe hundreds of people. That needs another level of rigor. And so we've got a spectrum shown here. You might need a simple stop sign indicating some very simple basic process. Or if you've got a major freeway and you're moving a lot of work, then you may need more process to control the flow of that work. The point is that you right size your governance to match the size of your portfolio. Too much process is bureaucratic, too little process is chaotic. So here we come to the portfolio management lifecycle. And we're going to have 4 separate videos covering each of these 4 elements of the portfolio lifecycle. And the first is on defining the portfolio. These are the processes to define portfolio parameters, such as the scope, what's in, what's out, what's operational work versus what's project work, as well as identifying the criteria for selecting the right projects that align with our goals and strategies. Then we have the optimized portfolio value lifecycle phase. These are the steps necessary to construct the best possible portfolio given our current limitation and constraints. Virtually every company has limitations on budget and people, and we're trying to do the best we can with what we've got, the most bang for the buck, so to speak. That's optimizing portfolio value. But then we actually need to go out and deliver the work. And so protecting portfolio value goes along with project execution. And this is where the leadership team can play a critical role in helping to keep work on track and delivered on time and protect the scope of the work. So it's not just about schedule, budget, quality, or scope. We want to protect the value of the projects because we're doing projects to deliver value. And we want to make sure that those projects can be completed on time and they deliver what we intended them to deliver. So there's a key component to protecting the value of the projects in the portfolio and thereby protecting the value of the portfolio. Finally, we want to actually deliver portfolio value. That's with our completed projects. We want to measure our benefits. We want to monitor our maturity level and our processes. This is the final step in the portfolio management lifecycle. The goal, as has been mentioned earlier, is to maximize value delivered to our customers and stakeholders. And now we're going to look at some of the key capabilities of project portfolio management. The first set includes the strategically oriented capabilities, including ideation, work intake. How do we select the right work? That may be paired with a phase gate or stage gate process. We want to prioritize the work, typically involves strategic alignment. We want to optimize the work. We want to develop that strategic roadmap. We want to have the right portfolio balance or the right investments across different characteristics. These are many of the strategically oriented capabilities of project portfolio management. Then to balance that, we have some tactically oriented capabilities, things that are the nuts and bolts of portfolio management: project monitoring and status reporting, risk management, communication, lessons learned, process improvement, portfolio maturity. Those are very much focused on our processes and how we do portfolio management, along with the actual tracking of the work. And then we do have some that fall in the middle: reporting and analytics, portfolio planning, resource capacity planning, portfolio value management. And if you're interested in any of these topics, we have a video that goes in detail on most of these. You can check that out. And we can summarize all of this by overlaying those key capabilities across the 4 life cycles of portfolio management. This particular chart represents a very mature organization that's actually doing all of these elements. You'd have to check out our other video on portfolio management maturity to understand that organizations go on a journey. They don't start with all these capabilities. When you're level 1 starting out, you've got a very basic set of core capabilities, and you expand that over time. Within the define the portfolio lifecycle phase, we've got a lot of core capabilities. We're going to cover the details of this slide, this page, in our upcoming 4 videos. We're going to focus on each of the 4 lifecycle phases. We'll get into this in more detail. So thank you for watching. If you've got more information, reach out to us. We're happy to help. Set up a call with us. We can talk about process. We can talk about Acuity PPM software. Thank you and have a great day.